Well, trading action was a little slow last week, not too unexpected given the holidays and the lack of news flow. That should change this coming week, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Plus, I'll do my normal analysis of the markets. We'll figure out if we are at risk for a stock market crash, and I'll look at the trade of the week, one of the few stocks that made a decent move on Friday. But let's begin with what's coming up next week. One of the things that drives trading action, the stocks that are really tradable because they make big moves, are catalysts. Usually it's news, it could be a rumor. Something happens that makes people want to aggressively buy that stock, and then you get the crowd piling in on it, and you get these massive moves in individual stocks. We didn't get that a lot last week. There was a few, but not too many. And the reason is most companies just aren't that eager to issue positive news around the holidays because they don't get the same recognition. In addition, there's always news flow that comes from earnings announcements. And the earnings announcements come in the first and second months of the quarter, but after the first week. So in January, that's the first month of the quarter. Last week was the first real week of the month for trading, and then next week will be the second. So you'll start to get that news flow coming from that. So as I said, the market moves on catalysts. And we really want to pay attention to stocks that are behaving abnormally because that's what attracts the crowd. Action brings more action. And if you have stocks trading with action, then the traders jump in and there's more and more traders that clamor to trade the hot stocks, and it sort of perpetuates itself. The IWM trend is up. I'll show you that when we go through the charts for this week. Over the last 4 or 5 days, the IWM trend is up. The Fed is not due to discuss interest rates until the end of the month, so we have a little bit of a lull in terms of the Fed. Usually people want to sit on their hands around the Fed announcement, so that is something to be considered as well. All right, let's get into this week's market analysis here, and we'll jump into the Stockscores website. And a reminder, I write a free weekly newsletter that you can watch or sign up for on my website. Just click on the See More link, it's free. I picked some great stocks last week. I picked this one, RGC, and you can see it went from $27 to $65 in 3 days. This is all free, so if you want to get on that email list, do that by clicking on that link at the homepage. All right, let's get into the charts of the market. We'll start with the S&P 500. And you can see here that we've been pretty much sideways for the last 3 months, but we are building rising bottoms, which is a sign of optimism. And if we go to the 1 month chart, we'll see that the trend is starting to move to the upside. We've got this gradual, slow trend to the upside, and it's just sort of inching its way higher. Rising bottom, sign of optimism. So that's pretty good. And then looking at the 3-year weekly chart, we've broken out to new highs. So after going sideways for a while, I've been sort of neutral on the markets. We're now breaking out, so that's a positive. Not quite as good for the NASDAQ 100. The tech stocks are still stuck in their range. This is called a pennant pattern. If we can break out of the pennant, and we're starting to do that on Friday, break out with some volume, that would be a positive. You can see the scores are very good, so the pattern is a nice pattern, but we just need that catalyst to break us out. Looking at the 1 month chart, you see here that we're sideways, but again, building that optimism with those rising bottoms. So generally, things look pretty positive. I'm just not really too concerned about a stock market crash in the US right now. Looking at the Russell 2000, this is the chart that I like to look at to gauge the sentiment of traders, because traders tend to be focused on more low price stocks, and the Russell 2000 is small cap stocks, which tend to be lower priced. And you can see there a really nice upward trend for the first week of the year, and that bodes well for the rest of the year, because there's the saying, as some of you may be aware, as the market goes for the first month, or sorry, as the first week of January goes, so goes the year. I believe that's the saying. So with a good upward move in the IWM for the first week, hopefully that's a catalyst for the trend for the year. Looking at the Canadian market, T.XIU is our symbol, and still in a good upward trend there, being lifted by commodity prices, well, particularly precious metal prices have really helped this market, and that sort of spreads out into other sectors of the Canadian market as well. So things looking good in Canada. Looking at gold, GLD is the symbol. A little choppy the last little bit. We went quite parabolic, and we've been sort of coming back to a trend line, getting a little more stable. We're still quite far above the 3-year weekly trend line. So I think gold is still risky, but it is a decent hold. The scores are good. We did have a little pause in the upward trend in October into November, but we're starting to gather momentum again there. Looking at the oil chart, oil has been fairly sort of slow weakness there, but we're picking up a little bit, building a little rising bottom here. If we can break this downward trend line with some enthusiasm, having bounced off of this support zone, yeah, there might be something that gets a little bit of an upside action in this market, but at this point it's still not great, just one to keep an eye on. However, with that said, the oil stocks, many of them are doing well, I think, as people look for value. Many of the oil stocks just at much lower multiples than the overall market, so there's money moving into that group. All right, let's take a look now at some currencies. UUP is the US dollar, and we'll just take a look at the short-term chart here. You can see it's been moving up. There's a dividend that pays out there, and that's why we have that big gap. I don't know if it's a dividend. There's something that happens every year in January or end of December that causes that. But anyway, we're getting a little move out of that, and if we look at the 3-year, if we take out that gap, we're actually building up from this rising bottom here. So things looking better for the US dollar. GBTC is our Bitcoin chart, and Bitcoin has been kind of dead for the last 6 months. If we look at the short-term chart, it is stable. If we look at the 3-year weekly chart, the trend is still fairly strong, but we did break the upward trend line there. So we have to start moving back up toward those highs. This is now resistance. So if we move up, we're going to get stuck there most likely. I would say neutral at best on Bitcoin and probably deserving of a little bit of caution. Finally, let's take a look at the bond market chart. TLT is our symbol there, and we had a good little jump on Friday. If we look at the short-term 1-month chart, see generally sideways for the last 3 weeks or so, and the 3-year trend, we're not really showing much promise in terms of building rising bottoms. We're still in this downward trend. We need to start to break up from a rising bottom as a clue that interest rates in the US are going to decline, which is generally good for stocks. So my ratings then, not too much red anymore, in fact none. Bullish on US large caps, still neutral on NASDAQ, but US small caps, Canadian stocks, gold, all bullish. Oil neutral on both time frames. US dollar short-term bullish, which is an improvement, and long-term neutral, and then Bitcoin and bonds neutral on both time frames. All right, let's get into the trade of the week. As I said, it was pretty slow, but there was a few stocks making moves on Friday, and this was one of them, NBY. And one of the things I love to do these days is build a watch list of stocks that are trading abnormally. So when I see stocks trading good volume, good liquidity, I'll put them on a watch list and watch for pattern builds. And then I always look for that catalyst, my action candle indicator, which is something I make available to my active trader students from Stockscores. When I get that action candle breaking from a compressing volatility pattern, this is called a pennant. When you get a break from a pennant, that's a good catalyst for the stock to go up. And in the final hour and a half of trading on Friday, this stock made a pretty good run after it made that breakout from a pennant pattern. So in risk reward terms, you're buying here, support is there, this is where your stop loss point is, and it earns 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 times risk. So that means for every $100 of risk, there was about $500 of profit. Hope you can find these kind of stocks. Just focus on abnormal activity, use your chart pattern recognition, and keep it simple. All right, well, hope you've enjoyed this week's Stockscores Market Minutes. If so, do me a favor, click the like button, leave a comment on where you think the overall markets are going, and most importantly, trade well.